Hello, everyone. My group and I are going to talk about the philosopher George Berkeley. George Berkeley, also known as Bishop Cloyne, because he was appointed as bishop in a chair in the chair in Ireland. So he was born on March 12th in 1685 near Kilkenny in Ireland. He lived during the early 18th, 18th century, a period referred the age of reason. Berkeley developed his ideas um, during a period of major shifts in history and culture. So we continue with this part, historical and cultural context. So the first one is historical context, and we have the Enlightenment. In this part, so arise and emphasize on reason, science, and empirical evidence. The second one is scientific revolution. We have this part figures like Isaac Newton had developed new ideas about physics and mathematics, so which encourage a lot of curiosity and exploration. About the cultural context, he was situated in the philosophical debate between empiricism and rationalism. And he was part of intellectual community, often explored themes like human nature, knowledge, and society. So now we talk about education. And the initial education took place on Royal Grammar School in Kilkenny, and this institution provide him with a classical education. So then he went the Trinity College, Dublin, based on classical and Renaissance thought. And in the same place, he had the master degree. So now we have initial influence. Initial influence. So we have philosophical influence like John Locke and Rene Descartes. Uh, in this part, Berkeley taught Locke empiricism in a new direction, arguing that the material objects only exist as perceptions in the mind. Berkeley on philosophy was in part a reaction against Cartesian materialism and skepticism. Skepticism. And we have the other side, contemporary philosophical debate. Well, Berkeley was engaged with the broader philosophical debate, this time with empiricism and skepticism. So we continue with the next topic.
Now, what about his most important ideas? It's needed to be clear that wrote a lot of books, but the ones that I will be showing just are the two of the most important ones, the two most important. The first one that is a treatise concerning the principles of human knowledge. This book is from 1710. So this one is important because in this book, he introduces the idea of idealism. He wrote a very iconic phrase that is to be perceived. What does he mean by this? According to him, people can't. Well, the material world doesn't exist independently of our perception, and by this I mean that everything that exists is just a group of perception, a perception of us. He also criticizes the what is abstraction because according to him, he says that people can have like ideas that are abstract or in general. When you think about something, it's impossible for you to be thinking about its specific characteristics. For example, maybe to make it an example, a hamburger. When you think when someone asks you to think about a hamburger, you will be thinking about the size, about with whether it has meat or fish or chicken, if it has lettuce, if it has tomatoes, if you like it or not, according to to your taste, maybe. Oh, well, there's another example. When you think about a triangle, you will be supposedly thinking about the size or the color, if it's yellow or red. When it comes to my opinion, it depends on the people. When it comes to this, and well, this one was the first book. The second one, that is three dialogues between Hylas and Philonos. This book is from 1713. This one is like the funniest version of the first one. Like, what do I mean by this? The both books, the two books, talk about the same topic, about idealism. But the difference is that in the second book, Berkeley shows his ideas through a discussion between two fictional characters, Hylas and Philos. Hylas represents the traditional materialist vision, and Philonos um, represents Berkeley's ideas. And they both make a dialogue about this one. And I think this is a funnier way or a more entertaining way to read about Berkeley and his most important ideas. What can we say about his philosophy and its impact currently? Well, we can say that Berkeley's idealism is revisited in discussions about the nature of reality, and also his philosophy of perception prefigures debates in phenomenology. That is an approach that focuses on the structure of experiences.
Now, let's talk about the criticisms and controversies that Berkeley were into. Berkeley's idea seemed like a mind-blowing thing for many people at that time. He believed that things like a chair, a tree, or even a building do not exist until we touch them or we perceive them. So many people believed that he was crazy and think that they follow that idea, uh, they will end up thinking that nothing is real, just our mind. About his personal contexts and motivations, he was a very religious man, and this influenced to create this theory, these ideas about this. He wanted to share God's word with everyone. So at that time, uh, the world people were starting to convince that the world were made of matter. So he disagreed with this and proposed his idea that physically objects just exist when we look at them or we touch them. And the one that creates this is someone called God.
George Berkeley is important in philosophy classes where students learn about his ideas on how we perceive and understand reality. Berkeley is a key figure because he states that objects only exist when they are seen or thought about. So basically, his legacy in philosophy remains about the nature of reality, perception, and the mind. By that argument, his ideas are still relevant because they help us to explore different kind of questions such as what is reality or how does perception influence our understanding of the world. So in conclusion, he has the answer of some kind of questions, and that's why he's continuing being relevant.